Yeah, another HR story. I'm sure they would love that little thing. Ah, God, given. Oh yeah, I forgot. I put this up. Yes, there we go. Hey, everybody, welcome to the Bearthoughts podcast. We do this every Friday, 5 o'clock, just PC time. You should know the deal already. Why haven't you already hit the subscribe button? Why aren't you sharing this around? Get this, help us get this off the ground, people. I appreciate it. uh, yeah. Speaking of that, yeah. You know the guy that does hot ones? Apparently he was dating a porn star, and then people heard about it, and then gave him a lot of stuff for it. So he ended up breaking up with her on Valentine's Day. Yeah, apparently the hot ones guy was dating a porn star, and he didn't like the people giving him flack for dating her. You know, the jokes that people were making were funny though. No, it's not. We're not going straight for 3 inches. We don't ever go for straight for 3 inches. No one goes straight to the 3 inch. All right, so let's just jump into some of my type of piece. Let's get into this one real quick, and this will probably be a short one. The clip where we talked about anime developers being like so fast at the or not being fast enough for fans um to be like satisfied and how quickly they're putting out the videos or out the seasons. Yeah, I got a lot of comments on that one, and a lot of watches, no subscribers. That's kind of unusual. It's kind of weird. Never happened to me before, but no subscribers on that one. But a lot of people have things to say. I don't know. You ever watch Code Geass? Like you ever watch that? Okay. For that time and what Code Geass was it was a pretty well animated series, anime season. But would you say it's the same quality as like production wise as like Demon Slayer or Attack on Titan? Bad. That's what I'm saying. Like, I get what the people were saying about that one. It's like, well, Code Geass season 1 and season 2 was great. I'm like, yeah, it was a good show. It was. What? Can we not hear him? Yeah, we can't hear you. Yeah, Gidge cannot hear you. As I always do an audio check. Yay. Okay, give me a check. Nope. Okay. Why is it not picking up my headset? Hello. Say something now.
Testing one,
There
two,
we go.
testing one, two. All right.
Okay.
So,
Ah, God given. Thank you. This is
yeah.
always a check. I don't know what my OBS does that. It's like one day it just works. I take a break for a week, and then just everything goes wonky. OBS, I love your program. Just keep my settings as my settings. Don't move it. I didn't upgrade nothing. Of course, we did
All
do
right.
that one little thing
Swap.
that we got me.
Yeah.
Anyways, so you said Code Geass was good, but you don't think the quality of the Code Geass was
I do.
as
I do
good.
not think the production quality is Attack on Titan or Demon Slayer quality. No,
So
absolutely not.
so the quality is going up in anime, uh, but the time people want it faster, and that doesn't always equate.
Well, the problem is because it is nicer, because it is cooler, because they want to see it, they naturally want it as fast as possible.
Mm-hmm.
Because people are impatient. Period. That's all there is to it. They
Yeah.
they don't give it. They don't give a shit that to get that scene that they thought was amazing took, 12 hours of animation. What
Mm-hmm.
they care is, can I get it now?
Yeah.
Why can't I get it now? If I can't get it now with one person doing it, can you hire more people so it can get here now? No, motherfucker, it costs money to pay these people.
And
Shit.
one person brought a very good point up. Like you remember back in seasons, used to took like several years until you got like maybe season 2, and I was like a
Yeah.
surprise, like oh my god, they're finally making season 2. It's like that was normal, but we knew that because it's hand drawn. And as far as I'm aware, you could be, if anybody knows this information, correct me. It's still 30 frames per second. That's 30 drawings per second. That's a lot of drawings per frame, but it could be
No.
less than anime. Could be like 15 frames per second. That's still hand drawn stuff and movements of each
Right.
characters. And movie quality, I know definitely movie quality is usually 30 frames per second for movie quality because they even do that in
Right.
like live action. So anime drawings, I'm sure, are just as the same. And now we're doing it on TV shows. That's
Well, here's
nuts.
the thing. What people are misconstruing is yes, now we're using a lot more computer-based programs to animate these things
Mm,
instead of necessarily everything being hand drawn. So they expect it to be faster, but that's not necessarily true. It could still take just as long to animate a scene on a computer as it does for someone to hand draw it because there's a whole different set of artistic skills that go into that.
yeah, I don't think
There's a whole different it's a whole different art style in
mm,
reality, and just because it's being generated and compiled by a computer doesn't mean it didn't take the person the same amount of hours to build that scene within that program on that computer.
yeah, only thing I can see maybe being faster because for everybody does not know, I do draw on my tablet. Uh, Painting is way easier. Painting can sometimes be grab bucket, drop paint. There, like the whole one part's painted. That's one of them.
But
But then you gotta
but
shade it, and then you
but
gotta
but
move it.
even then, you still have to go through the process of having all the stills
Mm,
for the scene. Then you've got to run it through a program to compile all the stills into an animated moving object.
mm,
Then you've got to spin that into another program to generate it into a three-dimensional object if you're trying to do like some of Demon Slayer scenes where it does a pan around.
yeah.
That's not a 2D object anymore. You're
Mm,
3D at this point.
yeah.
All that has to be done by somebody in a program. Then you've got to wait for the program to compile it. It don't just go, "Oh, you're done."
It's
I
not
mean, that shit has
AI
to be
yet.
processed. I mean, well, even AI takes time to process. I
Mm,
point in fact, we were beta testing AI at work for some things, and you can even ask AI to say, "Give me the code for Pong."
mm,
One of the most basic video games in the world, but it still takes several minutes or more for it to compile that code, generate it, and then send it to you. It's still not instant.
yeah.
Nothing happens instantaneous. Just because the thought pops into your mind doesn't make the object in front of you or
Mm.
on the screen or in any program you're working with. It takes time.
Oh man, can you imagine if you could draw what your mind sees? My artwork
You
would be
don't want.
amazing.
You better be glad that my mind. You cannot see what my mind comes up with sometimes. That. There's not a horror film out there that can come up with some of the shit that goes through my head.
I've thought that before. Like I was like thinking like how I would draw something, and I go to try to do it. Like what I'm doing does not match what's in my brain. If I could just take this and put it on canvas, it would be beautiful and gorgeous. But this is a lot more.
Absolutely.
uh,
That's why it takes so much time to do these things
mm,
because you have to work at making what you see in your mind's eye be what you see with your eye.
yeah.
That shit doesn't just magically happen. I mean, if we all had the perfect artistic skills within our hands and stuff, then of course we could sit there and think it and our hands would just natively do it.
Mm,
That shit is skill.
mm,
Even a digital artist that uses a tablet to draw is still drawing. It is still skill that at a certain point, if you can't do it, it can't be done with that medium.
yeah.
That's all there is to it.
I watched one of my favorite artists. She does some pretty dang great work, and I'm forgetting her name because I'm bad with names. And she literally like would show you how she does her artwork, and some of those videos that she will record and give out to her fans are still several hours, and that's just one picture.
Yeah,
So I can only imagine if it's movie grade and moving. That's all I'm gonna
yeah,
say. Even though nowadays they're getting pretty good with puppetry and VTuber stuff, kind of things.
right.
So and of course, one last person brought up the fact that that they don't see the fan base being that they see the fans being the opposite, that they're patient and kind because because they themselves were like I'm more want them to work and then go home spend time with their family. I'm like, well, you're one of the good ones. but Reddit and Twitter says otherwise. I'm just gonna like the internet says otherwise. If you're one of the good people that, hey, I'm willing to wait, which I am, I'm willing to
Yep.
wait 10 years for a good video game. Um, pull, nonstop. I'll wait 10 years for a good video game. And sometimes they're great and sometimes they're not. It depends on the studio or who's
Okay,
making it.
what it boils down to is that at no point in life, no point in life is it ever going to be um magic, like where you snap your fingers and it's done. It's not
Mm.
going to happen. I mean, even with the advent of AI being brought into the industry, AI still has to compile the shit. It still has to go out and figure out how it's going to make it.
Mhm.
It's no different than a person from that aspect. AI doesn't natively just sit there and know all in the world. It doesn't work that way. It can't, because there's not enough storage space in the world to put every piece of information, every picture, every video clip and stuff all in one location where it can just say, I can access this at any moment.
Yeah.
It has to search for it first. Then it has to pick which one of my multiple skills is the best skill to use for this. Then it has to apply that skill. It
Mhm.
is no different than a person when it comes to that standpoint, when you're looking at it from that way. I mean, it's not like can you walk to your computer right now and say cup of coffee hot and it just appear? No, it doesn't work that way. You have to get your ass up and go heat that water up, whether it's through a Keurig that heats it up and pours it for you on your stove top or in any other coffee pot. There's nothing is instantaneous. Everything takes effort and work, and you're gonna have to deal with it. I mean, that's one of the things I'm facing right now with the project I'm working on. Everybody wants it now. It can't happen now. Okay, I can make it happen fast, but I can't make it happen now. You can't come to me and say I want a computer built with these specs and expect me to blink my eye and boom, there it is. I have to go find the stuff that is required to make this for you, put effort into building it.
Mhm.
It's there's no instantaneous.
So I just thought about this. So the process is make the thing that will do the process for you faster, but that thing will take time to make it. Then when it's made, let's say a machine that can make you a burger, then that machine still has to spend time, even though it does it faster, to make that burger. You still
Yeah,
have to long time to make the thing that makes it go faster, but once you have it, it still has to go through a process of doing it, even if it's faster. So there's still a process no matter what. There's
yeah. I
no
mean,
deleting it.
whether it takes you 15 minutes to make the burger and the machine 5 minutes to make the burger, there's still gonna be a lag time between the moment you ask for it and the moment you get it.
Mm.
Is my point. It's not instant.
Yeah. Um, and again, I have full sympathy. I know with the anime, a lot of animators in Japan are quitting their jobs. A lot of them are getting a lot of burnout because of fan base wanting to quit. And I know that. You just do a quick search online on internet videos. They're out there. You can find them. I don't need to tell you, and you just believe what I say. Go look it up. Um, last thing I will say on it is I I think an anime could go and I'll be all right with 4 or 5 years not having anime. That's my like, okay, 5 years, I'm cool with that. Video games, I'm willing to wait up to 10. It just depends on the media. Games are full scale stories, bunch of stuff going on. It does a very time intensive, but drawings, you can draw them by hand. You already have the layout in the manga, right? You already have the what's it
Right.
called? The board layout. I forget what they call it.
Yep.
The storyboard. There it is. Um,
Storyboard.
so that's already been done for you. After that, you just got to draw it and put it on the thing. Unlike Avatar: The Airbender, which I'm still gonna watch on Netflix. I still want to see if people's negative comments are valid. I'm still gonna watch it myself and see if they're angry for no reason or to have reasons. It's one of those things. It's one of my. It's like your Harry Potter
I've
to
heard
my
I've
to me
heard I've
Avatar.
heard mixed reviews about it. I've
Mm.
heard people that are hardcore fans for Avatar the Airbender, the original animated version, that say that this is phenomenal.
Mm.
And I've heard same type of people say that it's trash. I think it's going to be based on your personal view of it.
Yeah. Yeah.
I will say so far, I have not watched it, but I have seen some clips of it, and hands down, compared to the movie, it's already 100 times better.
Yeah.
Okay, because they actually used Asians and people from certain
Cultures.
types of cultures to make it. So right off the bat, it's more. It appears more like the original,
Mm,
and from what I can tell from the animation of like the abilities, you can't tell what's real flame and what's not. You can't tell what's real water and what's not. Not that I can visibly see. Maybe your eye can discern it better than mine, and
mm,
that's possible. But to me, everything appears to be realistic enough and in the realm of visibly looking enough that you would believe these abilities are capable.
yeah.
I don't know about the story though because I haven't watched any of it. I don't know
Yeah.
if they diverted some from the story. I have no idea. Some people say they did make some small diversions in the story, and
Yeah.
that's because of again, like we've talked about before. They're saying it's because you're trying to jam pack certain events within a certain time frame. So
Hmm.
sometimes some things have to change to accommodate that because like everything else, they're running this the first time. They don't know if they're going to get another season.
Hmm.
So they're getting as much story in it as they can in the first season to see if they're going to be able to get a second season.
Yeah. I've heard only two things I've heard about it, and the two things were the animation was great, but the storytelling was diverted from the original. And one more thing, they like to do a lot of tell rather than show. And I personally rather you show me. Like if someone's angry, don't say, "Ooh, I'm angry." No, just show me you're angry. You're an actor. Express it. Show me you're happy. Don't go, "I'm
Well,
happy." Like no,
again,
you're happy.
again, and I understand that, and I feel a lot. I feel similar in a lot of instances to you in that case, but you have to remember if you're bringing this many different cultural people, different cultural actors into it,
Mhm.
not every culture acts the same.
Yeah. Um,
So some cultures are more about telling you they're angry or telling you they're happy when they're acting than actually physically showing it.
I heard they tried one more thing. I heard, and we can go on to the next topic. I heard they tried to say they were trying to aim for people that like Game of Thrones. And I'm sorry, I don't see Avatar and Game of Thrones on the same spectrum of like storytelling. Like one's a serious, kind of fucked up in some ways, excuse my language, very mature in a lot of ways. And the other one is like just a good story, good for kids to watch, good for mid adults, could be good for parents too, but it does lean a little bit more toward the younger generations of people. Like,
Well, it starts, in my opinion, more towards younger generation, and it leans towards the end. It starts getting more adult.
yeah. It does get a little bit more serious toward the end, but the whole season, the whole thing, I'm gonna watch it and I'm gonna try to get it from the perspective, or at least keep my mind from the perspective of if I never watched the original Avatar, could I enjoy it? Just like I did for One Piece.
That's yep. It's
That's
absolutely what you need to do.
I'm gonna
Because I'm going
try.
to tell you
I'm
now,
gonna
when
try.
I watched One Piece the live action, I enjoyed it. I did. I truly did enjoy it. Nice.
They have these at Targets, and I wanna try to, huh? Which how many of those you got?
First of all, I had to go find
Uh huh.
farming. What was for?
I want to get all of them. I do. I want to get all of them and put them back there.
They only had four. And when I grabbed that one and walked off, three people behind me down the aisle, and they grabbed them, and they were going to grab them.
Dang it. How about I'm feeling I'm gonna have a hard time getting Charmander because a lot of people like Charmander. I
I
like
love
Squirtle.
Charmander.
Squirtle's my
I'm a
favorite.
Charmander fan.
You're a Charmander? Yeah. A lot of people like Charmander. All right. Last little topic, and then we'll get to 3 inches. And yeah, I got a topic for all this week. And this one, I want everybody to get their thoughts into this because everybody here, including my wife, has worked a job, right? We've all worked a job. We've all had actual jobs in our lives. And
Yes.
I worked in cooked industry for 7 years. One gas station, one actual high grade restaurants, and 2 full moon barbecues, which is like right in the middle. Right, I worked the whole scale, and then a factory.
I don't have enough time to give you my list of
Yeah, so
shit,
factory, and
so
of course, don't forget I did landscaping, did drywalling, painting, and all that stuff. That's my younger years, grassing. But that okay. So this one is a juicy topic, and I am so ready for hear your comment because I know Stealthy's definitely gonna have comments because her industry is gonna be really tied to this. Okay, so Hyam Parker, a big, big streamer on Twitch, had the thought to say this. And a lot of people are giving him a lot of stuff for it. And I get people don't like this guy because he's a socialist. He has a lot of bad takes, in my opinion, but I don't hate the gentleman. I just think he has bad takes. I don't agree with him, everything he says. So he says that socially, streaming is harder than any other job out there on the market. As socially draining, it is socially like it takes for doing it for 9 hours. It is just grueling work, and it's harder than regular jobs socially. And my immediate thought going, boy, howdy, have you ever worked in the cooking industry? I can only imagine what it would be on the phone with people all day.
you
It is
just took a deep breath.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm
Okay,
just gonna
everybody's
lean
job
over.
here. Something. I want you to come into frame. And I want you to give everybody quick analysis what your job is, and then like since you worked in here several times, you had a job of prior that was on the phone. Now you have a new job. You're on the phone with people, customer service. What is your standpoint of this gentleman's social rating hardest job than a regular one?
I'm choosing my words carefully.
Okay,
Okay, because
be descriptive, but tell about the job first so that people can understand what you do.
Tell them what give a description of your job first.
of my job,
Yes.
because I was gonna start originally with him, or at least with the streaming part, because we all in this room can speak to it.
Mhm.
Technically, we can all speak to how difficult or not difficult it is for each of us when it comes to streaming. Some of us don't stream very long because they are not socially wanting to,
Yes,
because
it's understandable.
they prefer to avoid it being too social. Whereas in my case, I can stream because honestly, I just don't care what people think. But that's a me thing again.
Listen, we're not comparing anybody. Nobody in this group is going to say that they stream longer streams than you, because 24 hours, sweetheart. Fuck that.
Yeah, done
I've
it
seen you
once.
do it. She's done it. She's done it
The thing-
multiple times.
The other thing that we're also not taking into account is the size of
Viewers.
Right. I was gonna say the viewers.
Mm.
Now, with that being said, is it? I have felt a little overwhelmed myself sometimes when it's a lot of people talking to me at once, and it does happen occasionally for me, but not. It's not common.
Mhm.
So I can kind of understand from that aspect. But in that same respect, if we're gonna be honest, it's a give and take. It's not all work and no play.
Yeah.
If we're gonna be honest, because if a good streamer will find a balance between finding something that they want to do and their job, which is to explain things and help
Yes,
people
yes.
out.
Entertain.
Now get
Okay,
to your
okay.
job. Get to your job. Like I
Do
want to
your
see
job.
like how you think.
Now, which job do you want me
severity.
to explain first? The one prior to this one,
I'm
or
pretty
the
sure
one that I'm
there's
currently doing?
you're currently doing, but I'm pretty sure they intertwine in some way.
Well, the prior job with the phone,
Mhm.
I was constantly on the phone, and when I say constantly, I mean that one, if you tell me that you as a streamer have more work than that one, I'm gonna tell you right now, you're full of it. The only reason for that though is not necessarily because the job in and of itself was difficult. It's the amount, the sheer volume that would come in.
Mm-hmm.
Not this current one, but the one prior. I was the moment the phone hung up, another call came in. There was no break unless we took our breaks or went to lunch.
Yeah.
Sometimes we were told to, I know this is illegal, guys, and it's okay, but we were told to skip our breaks, okay? Sometimes we were told to skip our lunches,
Mm.
which they could suck it for me because I needed to go pick up my kids, so fuck off. Anyway, not the point. When it came to that, not only were you having to listen to the people on the phone calls during that job, I was also typing everything they were saying, everything that was happening in a case at the same time that I'm on this call.
Mm-hmm.
And then on top of that, if it was the days that I was doing my tech work, because sometimes it was, hey, we really need you on just the regular calls versus we need you on the tech and the regular calls. On tech days, you're trying to resolve a problem, typing to the family, and depending on the call, either on the call with the family or on a call with a different family while you're resolving the issue with the other person.
Mm-hmm.
So you're multitasking like a freaking nut job. That's why I say, if a streamer ever says that, I would recommend them to go to my prior job and try it out for a few days.
So, okay, I would
They're not going to
imagine,
hand it.
correct me if I'm wrong here, I'd imagine you'd be dealing with a customer that could be aggressive sometimes, a little belligerent, figuring out information, getting in contact with other people that know that information, like your boss or your maybe somebody higher up than you, getting in contact with them, writing all this stuff down, researching the stuff while you're on the phone with them because you might not everything, something you might know because you've done it so many times, and then all the while you're trying to calm down a person on the phone rather than reading a text on a screen, which is like you read a text on your screen, you can take a little time, but if someone's in your ear, there's no time to take a break. They're constantly like, hey.
Remember, well, you're forgetting, if we're doing both, we're also reading whatever's the text on the screen.
Well, I'm talking about like text that they're like typing you like a
No,
text.
that's what I'm trying to tell
Oh,
you.
they were
Like, when I
typing you
was
too.
doing the tech part, sometimes I was on a call with a different family.
Uh-huh.
Notice what I'm saying, with a different family, while resolving on the web chat, telling, hey, you need to tell me, does this fix your issue? While I'm typing to them, did this fix your issue?
Okay, so you're doing a text base and a phone base. Oh boy, no.
Yeah,
At the same
at
time.
the same time. That's why I said, let them try.
Yeah.
Please let them try, because it was not fun.
Okay.
I enjoyed the job, don't get me wrong, I did, but that was hell.
But you were working from home. Some people say, "Oh, that's easy." I'm like,
But
that doesn't always equate because stealthy is, of course, could be. I'm not saying it is, but could be what's the word for it? Like not the norm, right? It is a different thing. But
it could be the exception.
she could be exception. I don't know how many home jobs there are out there, but if you told me I'm a graphic designer at home and I'm drawing some stuff as a graphic designer, I'm not dealing with anybody socially at that point, right? That's an example, right? I'm not dealing with social. But then someone else because Asmongo brought this up about being around people can be stressful, but if you don't have no one around you, then you're pretty good. And I get that, but he didn't. Of course, he was trying to say that that the other streamer, which is his kind of his friend, wasn't meaning to say it like that. Like he didn't word it quite right. Like it was a hard job. He didn't really mean it was a hard diss because obviously old rig people, right? People that do crab boats out during the season, really strenuous, dangerous jobs. But you're still you have to please not only your coworkers, 'cause you got to work with them, but you also got to please your boss, the people that are above you, and they can sometimes be confrontational.
Here's a comment for you.
Mm.
I mean, you're gonna go there.
Take it however you want to. But anybody that thinks streaming is the most socially draining and most socially killing fucking job, I will swap with you for a day.
Mhm.
Just one fucking day. I give you a day, and I promise you, you will beg to go back to your fucking chair and deal with your chat and play your video game. You will beg. Because there is so much more than that in what I do that you can't even fathom it.
There's a huge difference, if we're gonna be honest, with in-person versus a chat. The reason being, for example, we like, even with working at home, that when I was doing that in the prior position,
Yeah.
okay, I had that, and I still had to please my boss. I had to get along with my coworkers, and I'm having to keep the customers happy, all at the same time.
Mhm.
That, to anybody that says that's not stressful, suck it up, Buttercup. You have no idea.
Yeah, and
It's not the same with the streamer. All you're not getting a face-to-face video call.
mhm.
You're not getting anything other than one person or whatever, how many people are chatting to you, but you can still pick and choose who you're speaking to, and you don't have, unless you have based your persona on it, you don't have to always be nice to your audience.
Yeah.
I mean, at the same time, yes, these streamers donate to you or they subscribe to you and you make money that way, but are any of those streamers capable of firing you?
No.
Are any of those streamers capable of taking your channel away from you? Are any of those people in the chat physically able to affect your job other than deciding not to gift you or subscribe you that money at that time?
Or talk to other people and say, don't watch them.
Okay, so I'm gonna go a bit of a rant here. And even this goes for YouTube. If someone leaves you a bad comment, you can ignore them. Someone leaves a comment in your chat, you can ignore them. You can totally disregard every person that says something to you in any of your media things. So and he's like, oh, it's so draining. You can ignore your chat. Or let's say you're having a bad day. Let's say you're already in a moment of tension. You could just not stream. You know, if you're already, emotionally not, your social battery's already pretty low, you could just not stream. And let's say you're getting low around the 5-hour stream. You could end your stream. Why do you keep on streaming and your social battery, if you have like a little bar that's going boop, 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 turn off right before it hits the bottom, right? Just turn it off. Going, hey guys, I'm tired. I'm glad you had fun. I just can't do this anymore tonight. Nothing wrong. Just let me end my stream. I'm gonna go chill out and do some things I want to do and make myself, enjoy myself for the rest of the night. Just end the stream. Just boop. But top it off, people are saying it's always one of those things. Because since my wife with her job, with her dealing with patients every single moment of her job there, she don't get no time to rest. It's in one patient, out one patient, in one patient, out one patient. She's always and dealing with kids too. Tell me dealing with kids aren't socially draining. Dare me. Dare to say they're not.
Oh my god.
So
if we're gonna go there with socially draining teachers.
Yeah. So imagine if you got paid more money. At what point you're going, I will deal with that socially draining job. The more money you get, the more you're willing to put up with, right? I would like to think everybody thinks that way. I'm more willing dealing with a kid, and you pay me enough money. I'll deal with them.
Here's an example. I'm streaming, right?
Mm-hmm.
I start getting tired. You've heard me say it before, guys. I'm getting tired. I'm sorry. I'm cutting it right here. I'll catch y'all later, right?
Mm-hmm.
I can do that when I'm streaming. My job at work, I can't look at the CEO when he walks up to me and says, my printer's not printing, and say, oh, I'm sorry. I don't feel like doing that right now. Because if I do, I fucking find myself with no place to work.
Yeah, you're feeling you're having a bad mood. You can't just say, "Oh, I'm not going to work today because
I'm not going to fucking do that. Go the fuck
or
away."
a teacher.
Yeah.
It doesn't work that way. You can't do that as a teacher, like she said. What are you going to do? Tell your kids when you walk in there, I'm sorry, guys, I'm having a bad day, so fuck y'all, I'm not teaching today. It doesn't work that way.
You have to go in. You have to, no matter how you feel.
The difference is self-employment streaming versus someone else that can fucking wreck your life, your income with just because you were a dick.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
And that's not to say that it's not difficult at all, because streaming can be difficult.
streaming can be extremely difficult, but is it the most difficult?
No, not by a long
I
shot.
have been more socially drained with my job than I have currently than I ever have in any other job I've ever had. That goes for streaming, that goes for any other job I've ever had. This job is so socially draining, and it's strictly because it's timelines, deadlines, you know, politics of the workplace. It's what's required to keep the business making money. It's all the weird random shit that comes up, and you don't know what's going to happen day to day. When you log into stream, you know
True.
that you're logging in to stream this game. I usually, if you're a big streamer, you have an average number of viewers. So, you know, I'm going to probably have, 1,000, 1,200 viewers in if you're a really big streamer,
Mm-hmm.
You kind of half-ass know what to expect because you're going to play this game and you're going to talk to these people while you're playing this game. That is what you do. You entertain them, you talk to them, you socialize.
Yeah. You're only there
You
to
don't
entertain.
have that shit. Like, my job, there is no standard day. I have no standard day. When I walk in the door,
Don't know what's gonna happen.
I may have a preconception the evening before when I leave. Okay, tomorrow I need to do this, this, and this. When I walk in the door, if production's down, or the CEO needs me, or the CFO needs me, or the VP needs me, guess what? All those plans that I thought I had that day just went out the fucking window because those people, they take priority because those people keep our company making money.
And you deal with people no matter where you go.
No matter what you do.
Yeah. So I of course, if I've been streaming for 7 years, everybody already knows this, and I had all kinds of scales of numbers throughout my years. And if it was as bad, I would have quit a long time ago. Right? I would have quit a long time ago. It would have been, I've had numbers down to 0 and I stream for 8 hours, no viewers. That is demoralizing, right? It is very demoralizing because I'm trying to make something out of this, but I enjoy it so much that I keep on doing it despite low numbers, high numbers, people give me big donations or no donations. I still keep on doing it. And I can ignore, ban, and even straight up block people that I don't like in my chat that is coming at me in a confrontational way. I can block them, but these big streamers don't want to block them because they don't want to lose some of their numbers. I get that, but sometimes if you're at a certain number scale, you just gotta get rid of them. It's a blank slate going, hey, if I have 50,000 people and I have like 50 people in my chat being bad, I will lose 50 people and not blink an eye. Right? It wouldn't be a problem for me. But if I being that I'm a small streamer, if I had 10 people in my chat and then 8 of them are toxic, it can be a little demoralizing, but it's either social draining or I just ban them and I keep having fun with the other 2 people that are in my chat, right? It's math.
Absolutely.
So, okay, so like I said, I cooked for 10 years, and this is an example that I wanted to bring up here. I've literally had to go into work. Now, I was engaged to my previous girlfriend at the time, and I was very distraught because we were engaged, we were dating for a long time, my longest relationship I've ever had at the time, and I had to go in and work the next day, and I was still tore up. And I went to work, I was already sad. I didn't want to talk to nobody, I didn't want to very much do, but I had to go to work because that was my job. I needed to keep money in my table. And I went to work, and someone brought something up, and I just went into tears. Like it brought it all flooding back into me. And they straight up pretty much like fired me and then rehired me to be like, they fired me pretty much on the spot because I was emotionally not good. Despite I had to please my bosses, the customers, my other employees, because I had to make sure they had items that they needed from my area. That was all depended on me because I was the cook. And I got all that social pressure, and then they all like, I probably got fired. I got rehired at another position. You don't get the choice at a regular job, depending on how you feel. And if you're going into a job where there's a lot of customers, like cooking, because you got to please your customers a lot and your bosses and your employees, social battery is like within 30 minutes at some days, and depending on
Yeah,
how hot it is.
absolutely.
It
Hell,
doesn't.
I've walked in, and in 15 minutes into my workday, I am no longer able to fucking coherently, without snapping somebody's fucking head off, have a conversation.
Mhm.
I've walked in, had the worst 15, 20 minutes I've had in weeks, and looked at the person running my department and said, "Look, I got to walk outside, and I'm going to be out there about 15, 20 minutes, because if I don't, I am going to end up doing something that's going to cause you and me to be in HR."
Oh, okay. Not gonna lie, I never wanted to smoke because my bad lungs. But so many times people got pissed off in the kitchen and going, uh, "Boss, can I go out for a smoke break?" So then go out and smoke and get calm themselves down. I'm like, I almost want to pick up smoking just so I can say that too, so I can go outside and calm down. Because we weren't
Yeah.
allowed in the kitchen if we didn't smoke. We weren't allowed to go take a little quick break outside. No, keep on going, boy. And boy, people get angry at their food because they're already having a bad day. People out, the customers, they're having a bad day. Some of them getting off work. Some of them are had a hard week. Some of them are they're on a break. Some people, you mess with their food, you will get all their blunt passed down to you from them to the manager to you, or the what's the person that brings the food out to you. I'm forgetting the name of them.
Server.
Server. Yeah, from customer to server to you. So it's like it pulls down, and I will get all the blunt for it. And I'm like,
I
wait.
mean, I wasn't a cook, but I still had some of that happen where, like, in the two food related industries I worked,
hmm
one of them I was literally the one responsible for making it and cashing them out. The other one, I was just cashing them out. And I would look back and I was like, "Hey, you guys need help." Like, and I know that's not normal behavior. I already know this
hmm
because I've heard, that's weird. Thank you. I know this. It's fine. But I would always like they would come up there and they would start bitching. I would hear them like, "I can't believe they made my food wrong." Blah, blah, blah. I was like, "Okay, I will go get it redone. It'll be fine. Just hang on." And I would go get them. I'm like, "Look, they just want it redone. Just redo." And you could hear them in the front just cussing up a storm. I'm just like, "Do you need me to help you?"
hmm And
I'm
some
not trying to belittle you. Do you need me to help you? Because they're
Yeah, and some customers
clearly.
just don't know what they're ordering. Like they think they know, like medium rare, raw. Like they don't know about that kind of stuff, and they ask it and they get it out there in the things. They want food that that's normally takes time and preparation. They think we just have it back there already prepped and ready to go, throw it in a plate and just go. No, it doesn't work that way. It never works that way. So I always
I
say
mean,
if
you can
you
pre-prep to a certain point.
yeah, I would say if you
Is
ever want to
that is the key word, to a point.
yeah, like if you ever want to get your kids in their first career, don't it doesn't have to be McDonald's, but get them a job at a restaurant or something like that, and they'll humble themselves real quick. And you learn to be like, hey, I'm willing to wait. And don't think we're spitting in your food or taking. Those are rare content, but most of the times no one's doing that in the
It may be
restaurants.
rare, but I will say I have seen it.
Yeah, like you
I
really have
will
to.
leave it at that. And when I say I've seen it, I've also gotten rid of the food.
Yeah, so some people get fired because of that, or the managers won't deal with it. It does happen, but it's not very common. Just be patient, and you'll get your food. And sometimes I hate to say it, make it sound bad. Just accept it the way it is. If it's not gonna kill you, if it's still edible, you just don't know what you ordered.
I'm not gonna lie, I do it all the time. Like if it's something I'm like, this is not what I wanted.
Yeah,
Educate yourself on
Taco
what you
Bell does
want.
it all the time.
Although I'm gonna blame Taco Bell for my throwing up last night. Fuck y'all. Thank you so much. Not appreciated.
I
But yeah,
I
it's it's hard everywhere.
Yes.
There isn't a profession on the face of the planet that's easy unless you think
Well, that was partially.
sleeping is easy.
Yeah. Like
I mean,
there's emotionally draining, socially draining, and physically draining. That's the three categories I can
oh
think
no,
of.
you're forgetting mentally draining.
Oh yeah,
Mhm.
mentally draining. Like
Yeah.
there's different jobs will have a different severity
I
of
mean,
A toll on your
difficulty.
body.
I mean,
Yeah.
for me, I
This
get
one,
hit.
for example, his is mostly physically,
And mentally,
mentally, and occasionally is it social.
Hmm.
What?
Yeah,
draining.
draining wise.
You don't have to deal with fucking life every day.
Yeah.
It-
Name.
Now do it for 12 hours, you know. Some jobs are 12-hour shifts, which I've had done before, 12-hour shift jobs. Those jobs are just your normal day jobs of draining plus an extra 4
4
hours.
hours.
So my job was I literally had people so mentally drained and so tired of their job that they threatened to kill me on my job. And I've had so many bullies at my jobs. It's not because people were so frustrated and angry because you know the littlest things they will personally attack you rather than because you know you'll call something out and then they'll go, oh really, blah 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 to you directly. It's like, whoa, that's me.
I've only experienced that at one job.
I have mad respect
One alone.
for
So,
people that pull heavy hour jobs.
Mhm.
Anybody that works, over 8 hours on the regular, 10, 12, 14, 16-hour days, you guys have mad respect for me.
2 years,
'Cause
12-hour shifts.
I've had jobs where it's 16-hour days.
Hmm.
And I'm going to tell you now, when I come home, I would literally not speak to anyone.
Yeah, that's like
I had because I knew if I did, they were going to get everything that pissed me off in that 16 hours was coming out on them.
mhm.
And when you have kids and you have a wife, you learn if you're pulling hours like that, the best damn thing to do is go ahead and text your wife when you get home. Hey, I had a very shitty day. I am not in a social mood. I'm going to come home. I'm going to eat, and then I'm going to go to this location. And the best thing to do is just leave me be.
Mhm.
now, in my case, the prior job, I had a couple months where they had me do 12-hour shifts. That was not fun at all. Gonna say.
Yeah.
The only other experience that I've ever had with working like that was when I was actually younger. And in reality, it wasn't a job. It was
Work at home.
for lack of a better term, my volunteer my volunteered hours to things that need to be done around the house.
You mean your voluntold hours?
Yes. That sucked. Because sometimes we would go from when we got up to when we went to bed. And that was all we did other than eat.
That was my
That was not
regular.
fun.
That was my regular for 10, 11 years.
Mhm.
So
When we were getting the farm
I had 5 years of
up and going, I got up in the morning. I went and worked the farm. I left and went to my classes. I left my classes, went to my job, left my job, and went back to that farm. You know, when I crawled into bed whenever the hell everything was done. And however many hours there was between that and sunup was what I got for sleep.
Mhm.
And that was 10 to 11 years back to back consistent.
Yeah.
Every day, 365 days a year.
That's why if I ever hear someone go like, oh well, 12-hour jobs, even though it's like it's only 4 or 3 days or however, I was like, they deserve those days off. I promise you.
Yeah.
Because
I need 'em.
that's how I got through school.
Mhm.
Because I did all of that work plus school.
Yeah.
Because that's how I got people to help fund my education.
And yeah, and
You know?
if you're a parent, you got to go home and now it's not really a paid job, but now you got to take care of your kids, which is something you look forward to, something you should be happy to. But if you work really
Listen, if you're a
hard,
parent,
Yeah, yes and no.
just if
you
you're
should look
yes,
forward to
no.
it.
If you're a parent, the way your day usually breaks down is you get up, you get them ready, everybody leaves. They go to school, you go to work.
That's if they're of school age.
If they're
Yeah.
of school age. Now when school's out
Just saying.
and you're off work, you pick them up and you come home. Now the next task is, can we get the homework done? Can we make sure everybody's home responsibilities, trash, cleaning, sweeping, dishes, everything is done. Okay, next, can we make sure the kids get their shower? Hey guys, can you make sure you got your clothes for tomorrow? This shit goes on. It does not stop just because you clock out.
Yeah.
And then everybody goes to bed. Now, people laugh because I tell them my kids go to bed between 9 and 9:30. Okay?
10 sometimes.
They're like,
depending-
"Oh, well
depending.
that means you have a few hours." I said, "No. I go to bed average between 12 and 1 o'clock in the morning.
Mhm.
Because after they go to bed, now my laundry list of shit to do, or our laundry list of shit to do, has to be done. So
Mhm.
now, she might be doing laundry and getting clothes ready for the rest of the week or the next day or what the fuck ever. At the same time, okay, lights out in the kitchen. Let me go change that. This switch went out over here. Let me go change that. Let me call a friend. My friend needed my help. Let me get a hold of that. It's a laundry list of shit.
Mhm.
Now, granted, some of those jobs in there are enjoyable. Like when you called me the other day, I enjoyed helping you with that shit we worked on.
Yeah.
But it was still not like I was sitting here just watching TV doing nothing,
Turn your
it's
brain
not
off.
like, I didn't, it's not like I just went stupid numb, there was still shit to do,
Yeah.
and people forget, especially a lot of people that don't have kids or don't have a partner, that live a single or what I like to call free-flowing lifestyle, where they get up in the morning, they go to work. At the end of the day, they clock out. When they go home,
They take care of
they
themselves. and that's
take
it.
care of themselves, and that's it. And that take care of themselves could be, I'm ordering DoorDash food to the house,
Yeah.
and I'm putting something on Netflix.
Mhm.
I'm going to go take a shower real quick, and then I'm going to sit and eat my food and watch Netflix, and when it's done, I'm going to go to bed.
Yep.
And that's simple because you're one person. There's not that much to clean up.
Mhm.
It only takes you 45 minutes or so to clean up the dishes that you used. You're only washing clothes for yourself, so hell, you might be washing once every 3 days
Yeah.
to have a full load,
Oh yeah.
I
Or
mean,
once a week.
I know that. Yeah.
depending
It's,
on-
I find myself it's like once a week.
it doesn't take as much effort, but when you start adding bodies into a household,
Logistics in and of itself is a freaking
all
nightmare.
becomes, there's a reason why she does logistics and budget and I do the other shit that I do.
Yeah.
Because neither one of us is capable of doing it all. It's
Mhm.
not possible. I cannot.
But you will not have the stealth that you have.
Right. You won't have, because there will be no streams.
Yeah.
There will be no podcast. There will be her awake, doing everything, and her asleep. That's what would happen. Because I'm going to tell
It
you,
has happened.
it's happened before. It
Mhm.
happened prior to us ever starting stream. You can ask her, when I held a job that was like that, I would go home, I would go to work, physically work my ass off, mentally work my ass off. I would come home because I know that she still has, clothes and shit like that she needs to do. I come home and cook meals, get everybody fed, make sure the kids are jumping in the shower. By the end of my day, you can ask her. I didn't want to stream. I didn't want to play a video game. I could give a fuck less about watching anime or anything else.
Mhm.
When I was done, I wanted to go to my bed, fall on that fucker, and forget the world existed.
When he worked the retail job that he was working originally,
Mhm.
Truck day. Oh.
when he was working that one, the only people he really had to worry about was me and him and his mother until the eldest arrived, he would come home. I would work the knots out of his back because that was usually his back was a freaking concrete wall by the time he got to me.
Mhm.
He would relax because by then I've already done laundry, I've already washed dishes, and then he might cook something if we didn't order something. But usually it was cooked because we didn't have money to order. Just saying, guys. But I took care of everything at that point because he literally would work from 8 to 12 hours every day. So I did my best to make sure he didn't have to worry about shit.
Yeah.
It
Okay.
did not help if mother-in-law occasionally complained, and she knows exactly what I'm referring to. So if she says anything, she can suck it.
All right, let's try
She
to
knows.
let's try to jump off this one and let's get to the last bit of the topic for the day because we're almost out of time.
3-inch time,
Okay, so speaking of your job, Southie, you had to deal with, as far as I understand, a customer and 3 inches. I can't help but think this is gonna go some places. So and you
Speaking, if we're gonna be honest, it was not the customer per se, but the person that represents the customer
the person that represents the customer. Okay.
is the one who put the case in.
This is just one of
So,
those social moments that you just go, you know, that was worth it. Was it worth it? Like, since it
oh,
was so funny.
absolutely.
So it's like
Not
this one
gonna lie,
of
it was great.
this is
It
one of
was
those social moments that you just go, you know what? That gets
Um,
it back from a frowny face to a slightly smile face.
So I'll go ahead and tell you, with the case system in our case, sometimes we get a phone call, sometimes we don't. Usually it's a no.
Mm-hmm.
Depends on the call or on the case. Now, this specific customer, we're gonna call him 3 inches because honestly, it makes it much easier. Okay, you're just gonna have to deal with it, guys. It's either that or P. You pick.
Uh-huh.
But in our cases, we get the problem that the customer has. The representative is telling us, "Hey, look, this is the problem that our customer is having. You need to resolve it." And then we look at it and we go, "Oh, yeah, that was either my bad, we fix it,
Yeah.
or you're bad for telling the customer that because you didn't know what you were talking about." One of the two.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
And y'all got to fix it. Or the customer doesn't know what the hell they want.
I ain't
It's one of
fixing
those
shit.
three,
Yeah.
you know. Well, this representative decided that he was going to order a copper pipe for his client.
Mhm.
Well, P did not consider that he may need to ensure that this copper pipe is sold in the length that he required. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
He thought that he could shortchange and go with what he thought it should be and shortchanged himself. So instead of getting the length he needed,
Yeah.
he was shortened.
Okay.
Okay. So he told the client, because the client's like, "Hey, I need a 2-foot long pipe, copper pipe." And he says, "No problem, I got this." So he goes onto his little computer, goes into our parts thing, and goes, "Hey, I need this." And it looks like it's telling me that it's sold in this, but let me double check. We're assuming at this point because he can't somehow remember the person who told him this. I
Okay,
think he's
assumptions are
lying.
being made.
You know,
All right.
fairly sure. But he said, "Oh, no. It's guaranteed. Yeah, that's sold in feet." Guys, the shit is sold in linear and inches, okay? Means inches, not feet. Inches.
So you need to know how many inches in the feet.
Correct.
Okay.
So he orders himself 2 feet, or so he says.
2 linear inches.
Okay? He ordered 2 inches.
A man
Now,
wanted.
understand that we are charging a pretty penny for these inches.
Of copper, which is still valuable metal.
It's still relatively valuable metal, I'm not gonna lie. But we do upcharge it because A, we have to ship it out. B, we have to cut it to the specified length,
Mm-hmm.
among many other things. So it's gonna be more expensive.
Mm-hmm.
End of fucking story. To which he orders it and he receives 3 inches. We were generous. We gave him an extra inch. Most people don't complain. But hey, what do you know?
I mean, who would complain if you've got 2 and you end up
That's
getting
3
3?
inches? What?
Like,
Man.
3 inches. Come on, guys. Well, I mean, my thumbs are 2, so this is supposed to be his 2 inches. I extended a little bit, kind of what we gave him.
You gave him a couple more.
Gave him a little more. But we're trying. This comes across, and I originally, when I grabbed the case, didn't read it. Am I glad I didn't read it and I just grabbed it? Fucking yes. Because it ended up great.
Because all you read was...
No, I just grabbed it.
You just
I
grabbed,
literally didn't
3
read it. I
inches?
just grabbed the case. I was like, come here,
Just
3
grab
inches.
3
You
inches.
belong
Just
to
grab
me.
it.
And I didn't even know what I was grabbing.
She didn't even know what she was grabbing. It's so short, she didn't even bother.
I didn't even bother looking. I'm like,
This isn't
yeah, my side.
This isn't impressive at all.
So he's complaining now. He's like, hey, I need you to fix this. Well, you're stealthy, being the smart stealthy that she is. Because, you know what? I'm not dumb. Let me go ahead and ask this man, hey, while you're at it, can you please go ahead and send me a picture of the 2 inches you received?
That's right.
Send me a pic, baby.
I want to see a picture of your 2 inches.
Your 2 inches, sweetie. You can show it to me.
You gotta show me.
So to our shop, and I go, hey, honeys, he's saying y'all only sent him 2 inches. He needed 2 feet. I'm pretty sure he's compensating for something. But if you don't mind, can you please let me know what's going on? They go, no, he's put in their incorrect amount. He's supposed to put 24 if he wants 2 feet.
Mm-hmm.
This is sold by linear inch. And so at this point, I have been confirmed A, pricing on this item, and B, I have been confirmed of the fact that, yes, sir, you received more than what you were supposed to get.
Mm-hmm.
He comes back, well, I was guaranteed that this was sold by the foot. I was told that this was, that this is, with the price as it is, it should have been by the foot. I was like, okay, well, you need to tell me. And I still haven't seen photographic evidence of my 2 inches that supposedly I gave. But, so I'm waiting for this information, and he is everywhere but what he needs to be doing.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I can buy this rollover at a hardware store. Well, why are you coming at me, bro?
Yeah.
Go buy it at a freaking hardware store.
Uh-huh.
This is what I'm thinking, because if it's so easy and you don't need it heat stamped, which is something that is important for this line of business, is sometimes the pipe has to be heat stamped.
Uh-huh.
Then why the fuck are you coming to us?
Why didn't you go get this easily accessible
Copper pipe.
2 feet that you required? Why did you go through the process of placing this order?
He goes along and he's giving his little bitching and all that, and then he sends me a picture of his 3 inches with the ruler next to his 3 inches.
Oh, God. The roller,
And I am
too.
looking at this point going, if this was anything else, this would not be as funny, but because it is piping and it is literally 3 inches
With a
this is
roller.
just beautiful. So at this point, I have involved everybody upstairs who works with me in this, and they have now been all roped into 3 inches saga. And we're discussing this. Now, we do have a policy on sales that after X amount of days, you can return parts. However, there are exclusions to this rule.
Okay.
For example,
Such as not having enough inches. I'm sorry.
customizations.
Custom
Oh.
orders.
So asking for those 3 inches was a custom order. Shit, he
Yep.
really hit the bar low.
Had 3 inches of customization cost.
She told me it was good enough.
That's what she said.
He goes,
Oh.
what are you guys gonna do? You gotta send me my 2 feet. I'm like, no, we don't. We ain't gotta send you shit for your 3 inches. You got your 3 inches, baby.
We
You
gave
gotta
you.
deal with your
You
3
got
inches.
your custom build, damn it.
Mhm.
And he is throwing a fucking hissy fit.
Mhm.
of like epic proportions. And I'm just like, whatever, dude. You got what you were supposed to. It says linear inches. Look, I have screenshot. Look, you ordered 2. We're generous and gave you an extra inch.
Uh-huh.
He was not a happy camper. Now,
Was it threaded?
understand, huh?
Was it
Was
threaded?
it threaded?
Nope. It is just literally regular pipe.
Tubing.
He is right. He could have ordered that from a hardware store
Mhm.
and proceeded to order it from us. And there's like us upstairs, we do have this comment a lot where we're going like, why did they even bother ordering it through us when they could literally go to the hardware store and order it?
As long as
Now,
it's heat treated or heat coated, whatever.
well, it depends on what it is.
Mm.
Here's the other thing. If you are going to order through us, the reason you're doing it is to maintain the warranty on what you originally ordered.
Yeah. Okay, I see that.
That pricing is to maintain your warranty.
Wait, hold on, wait.
So he just fucked his
So-
warranty. Yes.
So
by the way,
he
for
ordered
3 inches.
He ordered the 3 inches so he could keep the warranty on 3 inches.
Right.
I
And then bought the stuff from a hardware store. By the way, that's the update today.
Uh-huh.
He bought 25 feet of this shit from the hardware store and fucked his warranty with 3 inches.
Oh, that's the. I'm sorry. I would rather take another, do another custom order than fucking up my warranty for something. I am not gonna break my warranty for something that's pretty valuable and that has a lot of.
Listen, you don't understand. He was embarrassed. His custom 3 inches wasn't what she requested, so he broke warranty to get his 25 feet. Because I'm gonna tell you right now, if she needs,
What were you saying?
bro, I'm gonna tell you now, if she needed 25 feet, you got other problems.
You got,
than
you got,
fucking
you got
3
room to
inches.
spare.
With the fact that he did update with that, it unfortunately caused distress upstairs slightly with a few of our agents, mainly because one of our agents was waiting on Mr. P to put in his request to return his 3 inches so that she may deny.
Waiting for
His 3 inches.
Mr. Pipe to put it in. I get it.
Mr. Pipe decided not to come in with his 3 inches.
Of course,
to be
he wouldn't
denied.
come in.
Well,
He didn't come at all.
he realized that 3 inches wasn't gonna be enough, and he
I
was
can't
gonna get
reach.
denied.
I
So,
can't put it in when we.
so sadly, my coworker is very, very,
Distraught.
distraught. She's not going to get to deny the 3 inches,
Yeah. It's like, yeah.
but it is what it is.
It's called access denied.
So, yeah,
Ah.
he was going to get denied for sure. Like we were just waiting on it. It may come in next week. We don't know. For all we know, but yes, this man did all this
For
over
3
3
inches.
inches.
Like if he comes in next week to save his warranty, is it too late?
Yes.
Yeah. At this point, take the L,
Because
dude.
I'm gonna say it like this. Yes, because we know exactly what happened. There's too much evidence of
Tampering.
no, one of the things that the cases do for both us and them is protect us and them.
Mm-hmm.
So if we do something or say something, we are liable for it. If they do something or say something, for example, oh, we went and bought a 25-foot roll instead so that we don't have to deal with the fact that it's 3 inches, then
Probable
you
cause.
just fucked up and told us what you did.
Yeah, probable cause. So you did, even if you don't do it, you still gave us probable cause. So we just get to deny.
Right. So he's screwed his client by telling us that.
That's
So
poor choice, my man. Poor choice.
poor choices.
Ugh.
Mr. P. Mr. P, those 3 inches cost you so much.
It's okay. I mean, when you have to
Now,
live with 3
the
inches,
reason I say that too is there is another case. It has nothing to do with 3 inches. Don't worry.
Mm.
It has to do with the fact that she was dumb enough to think that she has more on us than she thinks. She thinks she has all this evidence, and we're just going like, bro, No, we have all the evidence, but you,
Uh-huh.
you know what? You know what? You do have evidence of us being nice to you,
Ha!
dumbass.
Voice
No,
recordings,
seriously.
texting.
No, we sent her stuff that we did not have to send her, and then was nice enough, even though it was past the date
Warranty?
mark on the sale,
Say okay.
to still give her the missing parts. Because we have this extension, right? This is how far we can go. She told me, hey, I'm missing all these parts at this point. I'm like, cool. We'll double check it. Some of those parts were missing, some of them weren't. I investigated. In the process of this happening, we have gone to here. Now, because she's already told me of these are under warranty. These are, hey, these are missing. We got to, give it to you. So these are given to her. There's also a part that she does have that we're being nice enough to give it to her because they're just being a butt.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's parts that she then tells me, hey, these are also missing. We need them. We're like, you know what? Just to smooth things over for you, so between you and your client, sure, we'll go ahead and give it to you. There's one part though that we are not going to do because A, it's an expensive part. B, it was an upgraded part that she didn't realize and that we sent to her. And C, here's C, we have photo evidence of fucking sending it out.
It didn't get to me. It's not in our hands at that point. But we still had photos to put it in the box.
That then becomes a freight issue if that's the case.
Mm-hmm.
Now here's the thing. According to her, we have evidence that we did not do it. And we're like, receipts, bitch.
Uh-huh.
Where are you coming at with? Oh no, we have proof of all your wrongdoing. And she's cackling. I find this out from somebody else because she has a meeting with two higher ups trying to get us to back down and give her the part.
Uh-huh.
I had the pleasure today, after having originally closed my original case with her, I was assigned her case so that I could deny her personally.
Oh, don't you
Trust
love it when you
me,
can spit back in the face and when it spits in your face?
I was just like, mwah.
It's like, oh, you spit in my face. My turn.
Because I do feel bad for the person that she went after. Because he had no knowledge of it to begin with. And he didn't belong to my department. She pulls him in with the two higher ups and goes like, they're not giving me what I want. And he's like, I have no control over this. This is not my department, A. And B, you can put in a new case, but I'm going to tell you they are likely to deny it because he already knows because we told him.
Mm-hmm.
And she's like, well, I have more than enough evidence that y'all have been doing things wrong. And I went downstairs because when I got the case originally, nobody told me anything.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, hey, what was said in the meeting so I know what I'm going into this. He's like, he explains it all. I was like, okay, cool. So I just need to talk to my boss. So I talked to my boss and my boss was like, oh yeah, I assigned you that case so you could deny her. I was like,
Must feel nice to say no to somebody. Anyways, that'll be it for this week. Thank you for those who are here. If you not already like the video, leave a comment down if you're watching the VODs, and please share it to all your family and your friends. We'll
nice saying no to people that deserve to be told no.
Yeah. We'll do this next week again around 5 o'clock Central Standard Time. Glad you got back here in time. I could have thought that this was the week that you might been gone. You been somewhere else, or is that next week?
No. That's a while off. That's a little ways off.
Okay,
That's
so
like what, June?
Yeah.
It's in June.
okay. I do want to do some anime trailers with you. Get those out maybe later on, not today. I saw One Punch release theirs, and of course, whenever I get to watch Dune, stay tuned for that because I'm pretty sure we're gonna talk about Dune and that Dune since Corver got to see it and I haven't got to see it yet. But anyways, as always, have a good day, have a good night, have a good life. Much love, y'all.
Bye, guys.
Bye. 1, 2, 3,